Okay, so this is going to be the sample multiple choice questions I pulled out, and um, I'll write a couple of the programs. Again, you got all the answers. You guys should be plugging it in and seeing how this stuff works. So, first one for lists, consider the method below, which is intended to return true if there is at least one duplicate in the array and false otherwise. So let's say nums is equal to, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 1. Basically, this code, what it's doing is it's checking at position 0 and then comparing it to position 1, because so 0 and then 0 plus 1. So it's checking those, right? We know that by looking at this data, there is duplicates in here, okay? But look at these. It's comparing each one, and it's showing that there's no duplicates. So this is not the way that it says under which condition will the method not necessarily produce desired results. Well, if it was sorted properly, 1, 1, 2, 3, it would work, or 3, 2, 1, 1, it would work. So A and B aren't the answers because those would work. Let's see here. D, it would work if all the values were the same. So if you had 1, 1, 1, 1, that would work. When the values in the list are all positive, that is not necessarily because these ones are all positive. So your answer is C. E is when the list has at most 2 elements. Well, it has to have at least 2 elements for it to work. If it had, it's not saying if it had less than 2 elements. It says it has at least 2 elements. So your answer for this one's C. 2. Okay, so basically you're trying to find the min value right here. Which code segment works properly? Well, think about what we're doing. We're looking at each element in the array. And so minimum is at position 0 right now. So let's say I had nums equal to 10, 0, and 5. So min is equal to, 0, 1, 2 is that's position 0. So min is equal to 10, but we know that's not the minimum. This is the minimum, okay? So we want to go through and look at these. So, the idea would be if what's at nums position I is less than the minimum, then the new minimum would be equal num at the position I that you're in. Okay, so we'll go, so first time through, 10 is not less than 10, okay? And that's just how it works because we have to assign it to something. So we assign it to itself, or position 0. Okay, and then we got to go through position 0. So then this becomes position 1. And what's at position 1? We got 0. Is 0 less than 10? Yep. So now minimum is 0. Okay, and then we will compare, to position 2, and that won't work. So your answer for this one is C. 3, I'm not sure 3 was in the book. 3 is kind of nice. 3 is similar to remove. Remove. So if you had suppose you got a list of 5 string objects. So I don't know, A, E, I, O, and U. Okay, there's my 5 string objects. It removes the first element from the list and stores it in the string. So pop and remove both remove it, but remove just removes it. Pop actually would take A and assign it to string. So 3 is your answer there. Okay. 4. This one is working with, so we want to interchange variables, swapping basically. So, let's do this. Come on. So let's say we've got R at 0, and that's equal to 10, and we got R at 5, and that's equal to 50. And we want to be able to swap them so that it looks like this, so that R at 0 is equal to 50, and R at 5 is equal to 10. Okay. Well, how do you do that? Well, R0 would be 5 after this, and then R5 would be 0, and so that doesn't do it. Okay, 2, or B, R's, so if so this will be this one, R at 0, that would be equal to 50 now, okay, because R5 is 50, and so that's 50, right? And then R5 would be equal to R0, which is 50. So that doesn't do it. C. Let's look at C real quick. C, we've got K equal to R5, which is 50. So K is 50. And then R0 equals R5. So R0 is 50. That's 50. And then R5 is going to be equal to K, which is 50. So that doesn't do it. How about D? K equals this one. K equals R0, which is what, 10. So that's 10. R0 equals R5. So that's 50. So now that's 50, and then R5 is equal to K. So K is 10. So, yep, there we go. D works. Okay. Okay. Let's keep going. 5. These are kind of fun ones. I like these. Okay, so we got a list. We got A, B, C, D, and E, and their positions. Okay. So we add them all in. We append them all in. So K is 1. 1 is less than or equal to 3. So this while loop will run 3 times, and we're removing what's at position 1. So you got A, C, D, E. That's where we remove 1. Then we got A, D, E. Then we got A, and then E. After we remove, we remove this one, then this one, then this one. Okay. Now we're going to insert something 3 times in position 1, which is going to be star. So we got A, star, star. Whoops. I was jumping ahead. We got A, star, star, E, A, star, star, E. So that's what an insert does. Each time it inserts a new star. That should be a star. 3 stars. Okay, so answer's got to be C. So this one we start off with A. So when we start off with A, then we append B, append C, 0, 1, 2. Then we insert into position 0, D. So now D, A, B, C. We remove what's at position 3. And then we add an E to position, insert into position 0. So we got E, D, A, B. So E, D, A, B is C again. All right, 7 is probably the most complicated to explain and understand, but we're checking to see if an array, if all the elements in the array are even numbers. At first, you got to know how to find an even number. So let's say we had num modulus 2 and num is 10. So since the left hand side is greater than the right hand side, we check to see how many times 2 goes into 10, and it goes in 5 times. So we get a remainder of 0. Okay. So that's how you find if it, so if this was 11 modulus 2, 2 goes into 11, it goes in 5 times, remainder 1. So you know that's an odd number because it's the remainder isn't 0. Okay. All right, so where we go from here? So we got a list of numbers. Okay, we know they're not all even. What we don't want to do is we don't want to go, okay, if it's odd, false, even, true, odd, false, even, true, odd, false, because the only thing that really matters is the last position, right? So if we add 2 of these, we know that there's odd numbers in here, and so that should return false. But in this case, it would return true because the last one, if we did that, if we said if it's odd, return true, else if it's even, return, if it's odd, return false, if it's even, return true. So this would return true, this one would return false. Both would be coded improperly, even though in this case it would work out fine, only because the data is okay, because the last one's odd. So when I start narrowing these down, I know that you don't want B, you do not want, I'm not even going to test for E, D, and B, okay? A and C, possibly, okay? So is even is true. We'll say it's true up here, okay? And then let's see what happens when we've got, let me think here. Sorry, is even in this case is false. Okay, so let's go through our list. 5, 2, 1, 4, 5. Okay, so this whole thing should return false. Look what's going on. It's going to be, this would not get hit, so it wouldn't be true. But then that would be, so then is even would be true. Haha. And then there's no way in this case to turn it back to false. So that would not work. or by just looking at this, I know C's right, but let's look at it. So initially is even. We say it's true. Okay. But then it gets in here and it looks at this and goes, oh, that makes it false. So now is even is false, and there's no way to change it back to true, which is what you want because you know that that doesn't work. So even if you had like 2, 2, 4, 8, 5, 8, okay, it would just be true. It would stay true here. True, true, and then this would be false, and there'd be no way to change it back to true again. So that's your answer there, okay? And then it's funny, I wrote this never even realizing number 5 is actually number 5 is actually number 1 right here. Except for I think I run a sort on it. I run a sort on it right here before you get to the for loop, and then you return true or false based off of if there's a duplicate or not. So 5 is basically right here. Only you can play with sorting information. I'm gonna do some sorting stuff here in a minute with which ones? 3 and 4. I'm gonna write 3 and 4. 1 and 2 you guys can play with. They're actually pretty long ones. I've got the answers below, and they should be good. So 2, it says design a program, lets the user enter the let's do 3. 3, write a function called isSorted that takes a list as a parameter and returns true if the list is sorted in ascending order, false otherwise. Actually, let's do 4 first because I already wrote it. 2 words are anagrams if you can rearrange the letters from one to spell the other. Write a function called isAnagram that takes 2 strings and returns true. So isAnagram, S1 is ABC, S2 is XYZ. They are not anagrams. They're not the same no matter how you sort them. But if you sort it and it equals to the second string sorted, then it's true, else it's false. So that returns false. But let's look at this. Listen. If these were sorted, it would be, sorry, not listen, listen and silent. These were sorted. E, I, L, N, S, T. That's what they would sort to, okay? So both of them would sort to this. Oop, that's true. And if we want, I can show you print sorted S1. EIL, just like I said, EIL and ST. Okay. All right, next one. Write a function called isSorted that takes a list as a parameter and returns true if the list is sorted in ascending order, false otherwise. Okay. So isSorted. Right. Sorted takes an array, or sorry, a list. So let's do this. R equals B A. So here I can create a new one called R2 and equal to sorted. So right here it doesn't sort R and change R, it just sorts it and assigns it to R2. So if R2, which is sorted, is equal to R, then true else false. Okay, yeah, that makes sense because we didn't pass in R there. Okay, so it's false, but if I change it, that is sorted. Okay. We can try with different information. So 1, 2, 2, that would be true because it's sorted. But if I change this up to 1 and 2, that's not sorted. Okay. So again, you guys can look at I said 5 is basically written for you in problem 1. And 1 and 2 are kind of long, and you guys can work on these. And if you guys can get all these, you'd be expert list creators in Python.